What's up, stream? We are currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And we are currently waiting for Andrew Yang to come out to this town hall here in Forest City, Iowa. Population 4,000. We're here at Waldorf University. Remember to like the video and consider sharing on all of your different social media platforms, because this video is live on 4 different platforms and we are adding more and more every single day.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. We're going to be getting started in just a few minutes here. I'm going to ask you, if possible, to shut your phones or put them on silent, as we have a great runner show today. I'm also going to ask you to take a seat and not stand in the aisles if at all possible. I understand if you're taking pictures or video or anything like that, but if possible, we'll ask you to take a seat in one of these chairs. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll be starting in just a few minutes.
So if you're new to the stream, the way this is going to work is at the end of the event, at the end of Andrew Yang's selfie line, whoever has the highest donation through the yanggame.com donation link will get a shout out on camera from Andrew Yang. You will get a shout out on camera from the next president of the United States thanking you for your donation. But here's the thing, only the highest donation gets it, and currently we do not have a donation leader. Which means you could donate $1 right now and become the donation leader. All you gotta do is go to theyanggame.com. In fact, the campaign just announced that we have a new $2 million goal to hit. No, not $2 million. $1 million goal to hit by tomorrow night. And every single donation through the yanggame.com donation link goes directly to the campaign and counts towards the $2 million goal.
Yeah. Feeling good? Sure.
If possible, I'll have it stand right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have a donation, our first donation of the day just coming in. Thank you, Jason, for the $100 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Andrew Yang, Jason is now the shout-out leader for the shout-out at the end of the town hall from Andrew Yang. But if anyone else donates $100 right now, or more than $100, you become the donation leader. And here's the special, guys. If we get a few people that bid each other up on the donations, we'll get multiple shout-outs. It just depends how high of a number we reach. Thank you, Jordan, for the $7.77 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. This event's going to be getting started real soon, everybody. Just stay with us. There are still people filing in.
Welcome, Winnebago County. Thank you guys so much for coming out, and thank you to Waldorf University for hosting us. My name is Heidi Day. I am the Yang Gang Envoy because we just have cool titles like that in the Yang campaign. I am also a Navy veteran, and I am an advocate for survivors of military sexual trauma, of which I am one. And this is the first time I've said this. I speak before a lot of Andrew Yang events, and I don't say that. But thanks to the bravery of Evelyn Yang coming forward with her story, I now feel empowered to speak to you guys about my own story. Before I go any further, I just want to talk to you guys about volunteering. This campaign is entirely grassroots. We have no corporate PAC money. It is literally people like me that are out there giving it our all, and people like our volunteers that you guys met outside. So I would like to encourage you all to, after you leave here, talk to our volunteers and our staff at that table outside, and please sign up to volunteer, because Andrew Yang is a once-in-a-lifetime candidate, and for him to get to the national stage, it's you guys, it's Iowans that put him there. I actually kind of have a funny story about how I even became Yang Gang. So if you don't know already, we use Yang as a verb. So I was yanged, it's funny, it was a mistargeted Facebook ad that yanged me. I'm a South Dakotan.
That's all right.
Thank you guys for letting me be here. So I'm a South Dakotan, and they were clearly trying to hit Iowans with this Facebook ad. And they got me instead. So I watched this ad, and all I knew about Andrew before that was that what everyone kind of knows is like, he's that guy giving away money to everybody. And I didn't take him seriously. But something made me stop and just watch this ad. And before that, I was a Bernie Sanders supporter for 4 years. And I watched this ad, and it is honestly like a defining moment in my life. I still clearly remember going to hit the pause button so I could scroll down and just stopping and thinking, well, okay, let me just listen to what this guy has to say. Changed my life. I then spent the next several hours watching YouTube videos, and I recommend you all go home and do that, watching YouTube videos about Andrew Yang. And lost my whole weekend doing that. And then I did what any rational person would do. And I got these giant Yang 2020 decals and put them on my Jeep. And I headed to Iowa. Because I had to tell you guys about Andrew Yang. Because like I said, Andrew Yang is a once-in-a-lifetime candidate. And this is the most important election of our lifetime. And it's not just because Donald Trump is running for re-election, and that's a big reason, but it's also because under Andrew Yang, ending abject poverty is literally on the ballot. And if you think about it, there is only one candidate that Donald Trump has not attacked. He's gone up and down the list. He knows who's running. He knows everybody that's running. He's done his thing. He's made fun of them. He's, rallied up his supporters against him. But there is one candidate that he has not touched. And he told us a year ago exactly why. When Democrats first started entering the race. At a rally, Donald Trump told his supporters, the only thing I fear is some total unknown entering the race. Andrew Yang. Thank you guys for listening to me speak. And I would like to invite to the stage Lisa Rawls, the Winnebago County Democratic Chair.
Very much. I want to welcome you all for coming here today. And I also want to welcome, of course, Andrew and Evelyn for being here as well. We are really, really lucky to have a presidential candidate here in Winnebago County. We don't get a whole lot of them. Most of the candidates tend to go to Algona. They tend to go to Mason City and kind of pass right through Winnebago County. We have had a handful of candidates that have come to the county, and we are really honored when they do. I am happy to say that this is Andrew Yang's second time in Winnebago County. So we're especially honored to have him back here today. First speaking will be Evelyn, his wife, and she is actually a marketing professional by trade, but she is also a stay-at-home mom now and an advocate for special needs people. She became a special needs advocate once their oldest son was diagnosed with autism, and she realized she had to learn how to navigate some of the issues facing special needs people and issues facing special education as well. And so she became an advocate for her son, she became an advocate for other special needs children and other special needs adults. And as a result, she also became passionate about helping other families that might not have the resources that her family had to deal with these issues as well. So I think it's safe to say that she's been an inspiration to a lot of people over the years, and I'd like to welcome her here today.
I'm his best character witness. Andrew is a wonderful father, husband, and friend. He's a man of the highest integrity. He doesn't lie. I've never known him to do a single unscrupulous thing. But he's also far from a stick in the mud. He is so much fun, and he's flexible, and he's principled, but has exceptional judgment when it comes to the things that really matter. He's generous in heart and soul and in action. By the way, I took all of that from our wedding vows. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Our wedding vows were way more generic. But seriously, Andrew is the only one talking about tackling the greatest issues we face today in a meaningful way. Of course, $1,000 a month can't solve all of our problems. We as a country have a lot of big systemic changes to work on. And if you've looked into any of Andrew's 150 plus policy proposals, then you know that he fully intends to do this work. But the freedom dividend is the critical first step in the right direction. It will mean that millions of Americans can lift their heads up, look forward, plan, save for a rainy day, and hope for a brighter future. That's why I so embrace this campaign and my husband's work putting humanity first. What humanity first means to me is investing in people first. This will supercharge our families and supercharge our communities. As Andrew puts it, it's the trickle-up economy, from our people and communities up. Andrew is the only one talking about tackling issues in a people-centered way. It's why the more you hear from him, the more you want to hear from him. He makes too much sense, and then you realize that this is what we've been missing in politics. Now, the man that you've been waiting for, please join me in welcoming the next President of the United States, my husband, Evelyn.
Thank me for running, and I say thank my wife, Evelyn, which I want to do again right now. Thank you, baby. I love you so much. I want to say, walking through this building, I'm really happy because I played piano for 12 years as a kid, and there were many, many times, evenings, where I went into a room with a piano, and that was like a big escape for me. I don't know if, like most of you are probably just here for this event, don't hang out in this music center, but there's something really nice about music centers, am I right? So I'm not a career politician, most of you know that. I'm an entrepreneur and a problem solver. And I'm running for president because of a problem we've all been struggling with for the last 3, going on 4 years now. And it's this. How did Donald Trump become our president? Really, like, how the heck does that happen? If you turn on cable news at any point in the last number of years, why would you think that he's our president today? Russia, money, racism, ignorance, emails, Hillary Clinton, Facebook. What's that? White lash. Like racism in reverse. So these are the reasons that have been presented to us, but I'm a numbers guy, Iowa, and after he won, I went looking through the numbers for an explanation. And I found it, and it's an explanation I think will be familiar to many of you. We automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs over the last number of years. And where were those jobs based? Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, and 40,000 right here in Iowa. I have been to the towns in Iowa that lost their manufacturing jobs. After the plant closed, the shopping district closed, people left, the school shrank, and that town has never recovered. I spent 7 years running a nonprofit that worked in Missouri, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio. I saw the same thing play out over and over again in those communities as well. This is why Donald Trump wins Iowa, a purple state, by almost 10 points. Because people see that their future is being transformed before our eyes. How many of y'all are parents like me and Evelyn? That if you're a parent, you feel like your kid's future is less stable and less secure than the lives that you've led. And that's how Donald Trump wins. Unfortunately, what we did to those manufacturing jobs, we're now doing to other parts of the economy. How many of you have noticed stores closing around where you work and live in Iowa? And why are those stores closing? Amazon, that's right. Amazon's sucking up $20 billion in business every year. How much did Amazon pay in taxes last year? Zero. That's the math. 20 billion out, 0 back, 30% of your stores and malls close. Most common job, retail clerks has to disappear. And it's not just the changes you can see around you, they're more subtle and pervasive. When you all call the customer service line of a big company and you get the bot or the software, you do the same thing I do, which is you pound 000, say human, representative, until you get someone. Raise your hand, that's what you do. Yeah, we all do that, because that software is terrible. But in 2 or 3 short years, the software is going to sound like this. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? What can I do for you? It'll be fast, seamless, efficient. What will that mean for the 2.5 million Americans who work at call centers right now making $10 to $14 an hour? How many of you all know a truck driver here in Iowa? Most common job in 29 states. My friends in California are working on trucks that can drive themselves. They say they're 98% of the way there. A robot truck just transported 20 tons of butter from California to Pennsylvania 3 weeks ago with no human intervention. Why butter? I have no idea. But the robot trucks are coming. What's that going to mean for the 3.5 million truckers or the 7 million Americans who work in truck stops, motels, and diners that rely upon the truckers getting out and having a meal? How many of you have been to Iowa 80 in Davenport? Me too. Got a really good buffet. They say that 5,000 people stop there every day. How many people will stop at Iowa 80 when the trucks don't have drivers anymore? This is the greatest economic transformation in the history of our country, what experts are calling the 4th Industrial Revolution. You've probably never heard a politician say the words 4th Industrial Revolution until just now. And I'm barely a politician. So this is how an entrepreneur finds himself running for president. Trump wins, I say, oh my gosh, that's a giant red flag. Like tens of millions of our fellow Americans decided to take a bet on the narcissist reality TV star because they feel like the government's just so out of touch. Where scapegoating immigrants or problems immigrants have next to nothing to do with, this economic transformation is about to speed up as artificial intelligence leaves the lab and the robot trucks hit the highways. What are we going to do? So then I went to DC and I said, what are we going to do to help our people manage this transition? And what do you think the folks in DC said to me when I said, what are we going to do? The big responses I got were, number 1, we cannot talk about this, Andrew. Number 2, we should study this further, Andrew. And number 3, we must educate and retrain all Americans for the jobs of the future. How many of you have heard something like that? Yeah, we've all heard that. But I looked at the studies and I said, hey, I looked at the studies. Do you all want to guess how effective the government-funded retraining programs were for the manufacturing workers who lost their jobs in the Midwest?
About 8%.
About 8%. That's so precise. I love it. And that's about right. The real number is 0 to 15%. They're a total dud. The fact is, almost half the manufacturing workers who lost their jobs left the workforce and never worked again. And of that group, half filed for disability. Then saw surges in suicides and drug overdoses to the point where America's life expectancy has now declined for the last 3 years in a row. First time in 100 years that's happened. Last time it happened was the Spanish flu of 1918, a global pandemic that killed millions. So when I said this to the folks in DC, they shrugged again, were like, well, I don't know what to tell you. But one person said something that brought me here to you all today, Forest City, which is a great name for a town, by the way. Really, it's like you say, I live in Forest City, and like, what are the images that evokes? It's like giant tree houses, right? It's like, just look up and be like the address of the mailbox, and we look up into the branches, and that's where the house is. So this person in DC said something that brought me here to you all. He said, Andrew, you're in the wrong town. No one here in DC is going to do anything about this. Because fundamentally, this is a town of followers, not leaders. And the only way we will do something about it is if you were to create a wave in other parts of the country and bring that wave crashing down on our heads. And I said, challenge accepted. I'll be back in 2 years with the wave. So here we are today. I'm fifth in the polls and rising to be the Democratic nominee. We raised $16.5 million last quarter in increments of only $35 each. So my fans are almost as cheap as Bernie's. Zero corporate PAC money. This is just an uprising of the people trying to retake our government, make it work for us. Because Trump was onto something when he said that our government is out of touch, disconnected, not actually solving our problems. What does DC care about at this point? The almighty dollar. They just got dollar signs in their eyes. DC today is the richest city in our country. Think about that. What do they produce?
Don't say it.
That's really a thinker, right? Like, how the heck did that become the wealthiest city in your country? It's like, what is your industry again? It's like, well, you see.
Baseball, national.
So we have to take control of our government again and make it work for us. And you all are the people that can make this happen. Really the only people in the country. Most of our fellow Americans look up and they see our government as a series of pipes clogged full of lobbyist cash, and they say there's nothing they can do about it. They're generally right. There's nothing they can do about it. You are the only people in the country who can do something about it. That's the magic of Iowa. That's why I love campaigning here. You all can turn this around in 12 days. It's amazing. I love it. You should love it too. Though I know you don't feel like the most powerful people in the country because you're just living your lives saying, I guess I'll go check out the presidential candidate. He's coming to the local campus and feel irresponsible if I did not do this. But you all can turn our country in a new direction just like that. Unlike anyone else. I did the math. Do you know how many Californians each Iowan is worth? 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 Californians each. That's right. So look around this little auditorium, this little recital hall right now. How many people are here? I'm going to give a Trumpian estimate. There are 800 people in this recital hall. It is vast. It is recital hall. So I want to say there may be 80 to 100 people here. That 80 to 100 would still be 2 football stadiums full of Californians worth of voting power. That's the power in this state. If you all take a case to the rest of the country, it actually becomes the vision for the country. Just like that. That's the power. The rest of America can only look at you enviously because this is one of the only places in the country where democracy still functions at all like it's intended. So the question is, what vision are you going to take to the rest of the country on February 3rd? And I know at some point, maybe you saw a TV ad. Raise your hand if it's a TV ad. It'll make me happy. Because we spend a lot of money on those ads. So, you saw that someone's running for president who wants to humanize the economy and give everyone in the country $1,000 a month. And I know the first time you heard $1,000 a month for everyone, that sounded like a gimmick, too good to be true, would never happen. But this is not my idea, and it's not a new idea. Thomas Paine was for it at the founding of the country, called it the citizen's dividend for all Americans. Martin Luther King, whose birthday we celebrated yesterday, was fighting for this when he was killed. I met with his son in Atlanta, and he said this is what his dad was fighting for. 1,000 economists, including Milton Friedman, one of the godfathers of economic theory, championed this proposal in the 60s. It passed the U.S. House of Representatives twice in 1971 under Nixon, and 11 years later, one state passed a dividend where now everyone in that state gets between $1,000 and $2,000 a year. And what state is that? Alaska. And how does Alaska pay for it? Oil. And what is the oil of the 21st century? Technology. Data, technology, AI, self-driving cars and trucks. A new study just came out that said that our data is now worth more than oil. How many of you saw that study? How many of you got your data check in the mail last month? If our data is now worth billions and billions of dollars and we're not getting it, where's all that money going? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, and the trillion-dollar tech companies that are, again, paying zero or near zero in taxes. See what's happening, Iowa? That feeling that we're getting sucked dry, that there's a game being played behind the scenes that we're no longer a part of? Yeah, that's all true. And these trillion-dollar tech companies are siphoning vitality out of our communities, selling our data over and over again, and we're not seeing a dime. And we're looking around being like, what the heck happened to the jobs? Iowa, in many ways, is ground zero for this process, because it started on the farms, mechanized and consolidated a lot of the agricultural jobs. Then it shifted to manufacturing, blasted away 40,000 manufacturing jobs here in the state. Now it's shifting to your main streets as your stores and malls start to close. The next step is your highways. You have to make a case for a different economic vision as quickly as possible. That's this opportunity on February 3rd. Now, after I'm your president, thank you for that, and you get this $1,000 a month into your hands, build a trickle-up economy, where does the money actually go? Yeah, then after you have it, what do you do with it? Spend it on what? How much of it would stay right here in Iowa? Most all of it. You might get your own Netflix password. A little bit of it would like float up to the cloud. But most of it would go to car repairs you've been putting off, and school payments, and daycare expenses, and Little League signups, and local nonprofits, and religious organizations, and arts and culture. These are the things that we actually value the most. This is the trickle-up economy, from our people, our families, and our communities up. This would actually give our kids a real path forward, where you can look them in the eye and say, your country loves you, your country values, and you and your country will invest in you. People can tell the difference when you're talking about it and when you're doing it. Right now, we're telling our kids that it's going to be great, and then they're like, I don't know if it is going to be great. How many of you all are students here at the college? If you're a student here, you've been getting a lot of messages your entire life. And then you're like, why does it feel like things are getting harder and harder, where like college got 2.5 times more expensive, I'm now racking up these loans, I'm not sure what my career path's gonna look like afterwards, the entire earth is changing, my government doesn't seem to have its act together at all. There's a mental health crisis among you and your peers. And so you look up and say, like, why does it seem like they've left us like this giant bill? It's like giant bill of goods, this multi-trillion-dollar bill of goods. It's because we have. And we owe you better. You deserve better. I'm a parent and I'm running for president because I want to give you better. I want to give you the future that you actually deserve. I think any parent in the room can relate to that. We owe the next generation better than we're leaving them. And it is going to be up to us, the people in this room, to deliver that brighter future for them starting on February 3rd. We are told all the time that things are great in the economic numbers, GDP, corporate profits, record highs. But if your corporate profits are going up and your life expectancy is going down, which do you value more? And I know the economic measurements are not actually telling us what's going on in our communities, in part because of Evelyn and her work every day as the mother to our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. What does her work every day count at in our economic measurements? That gets a 0. Evelyn and stay-at-home parents all get a 0. How about people who are at home taking care of ailing loved ones? That's a 0. How about volunteers and activists trying to make things better in our community? 0. Coaches and mentors trying to make the next generation stronger? 0. 98% of artists, I hate to say it, I don't know if some of you are studying this. Maybe I'll lower the percent, 95% of artists. Local journalists, that's increasingly a 0. We put almost 2,000 local newspapers out of business over the last number of months because all their advertising revenue went up to the cloud. You know what doesn't function as well if you don't have local journalism? Democracy. Because how the heck can you vote on what's going on in your community if there's no one covering what's going on in your community? For a city, these are the things that we pretend to value most dearly in our lives. Our families, our communities, our democracy, and we're allowing them to get zeroed out one by one by one. That is what this election's about. That's how Trump won. Instead of measuring corporate profits and GDP and saying this is sort of a rough approximation of how we are doing, even though at this point it's heading in the opposite direction, we should be measuring our progress by how we are actually doing. As your president, I would update and modernize our economic measurements to include our health and life expectancy, our mental health and freedom from substance abuse, average student loan indebtedness and affordability, clean air and clean water, childhood success rates, the proportion of elderly Americans who can retire in quality circumstances. These are the actual measurements of how we are doing, and as your president, I will present these numbers to you every year at the State of the Union. I'll be the first president to use a PowerPoint deck at the State of the Union. So this is the vision of a modern, human-centered, trickle-up economy that we have to take to the rest of the country just like this. It's great to be here because you all have this power to shape the future in your hands, and we have to build on this right now. Because if we miss this opportunity, what happens in the next 4 years? More stores close, AI gets smarter, trucks start hitting the highways, people's way of life continues to deteriorate. This is what we have to change right now. Donald Trump is our president because he had a very simple message. He said he was going to make America great again. What did Hillary Clinton say in response? America's already great. You remember that in Iowa? I know, it's been a long 3 years. But it's coming to an end. That response did not go over well with many, many Americans because the problems are real. We have to acknowledge their severity and depth and reality, but then we need solutions that will actually move our country forward. What were Donald Trump's solutions? Build a wall, turn the clock back, bring the old jobs back. For a city, you know we have to do the opposite of these things. We have to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society to rise to the real challenges of the 21st century, like climate change. We have to evolve in the way we see ourselves and our work and our value. I'm the ideal candidate for this job because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. Thank you all very much. You may not know this, but math is an acronym, and what does it stand for? Make America think harder. That's right, that's your job on February 3rd. It's your job to move this country we love, not left, not right, but forward, and I know that's just where you're going to take us. Thank you. Thank you, Forest City, thank you, Iowa, thank you, Waldorf University. And so, now there's some time for some questions. I'm not sure if we have a mic or people can just project. You can just shout it out. This is great, I can actually point at people this time. With the presidential index finger. Yeah, miss.
What do you plan to do with mental health care, especially in a state where there's basically no beds available?
So the question, if you didn't hear it, is what do we do to address the mental health crisis, particularly in a place like Iowa that doesn't have the resources in many, many environments? I'm so passionate about this. My brother is actually a psychology professor, to give you a sense of how deep it is in the family. So at the top, I would appoint a psychologist to the White House. I thought that was a good idea even before the current administration. But I would do it just to destigmatize issues and let everyone know that, hey, we all struggle and it's a good thing to acknowledge it. Now, in rural areas like Iowa, there are a number of things that are keeping people from getting the resources they need. At the federal level, we actually can make a difference by funding some of these resources, particularly in schools. So right now, the average school doesn't have the resources available. Maybe at the college level you do, but at the college level, I'm sure there's a waiting list. It's very, very long. And so the forces that are keeping rural areas from getting psychologists and counselors and people that could do good, a lot of it's the market. So is there a shortage of young people who want to go into mental health fields to help other people? There actually isn't a shortage of young people that want to do that, but we've set up a very, very difficult process for them to actually get those degrees. It's expensive, they have to take all these tests, incur all this debt. And so after they get loaded up with this debt, where are they going to go? Big cities, because they have to pay back their debt and be like, hey, I'll just make more money. So if you want to change that, you have to say, look, if you head to a place like Iowa, we will forgive your debt. We have to change the process through which someone can actually become a psychologist or therapist or counselor to be easier, and frankly, not so dependent upon standardized tests. Because there's so many people that would be excellent in that role that just don't want to go through this like crazy ringer that we've set up in terms of the training process. And at the federal level, we can fund counselors in schools and in other environments that I would be committed to as your president. I would like to say, and I think you referenced this, I do believe that there are different ways to address the mental health crisis, and my brother has informed me of some of these, that sometimes prescription drugs are the right approach, but we need to pursue more non-pharmaceutical responses to people suffering with anxiety and depression and various things, because a lot of the prescription drugs have unpredictable effects on people and side effects. And as a country right now, I believe we're over-medicating many of our citizens, particularly young people. Yeah?
So I'm a firm believer in the fact that numbers speak, and right now, numbers are screaming. And those numbers would be the amount of Congress people who don't vote across the aisle. How do you intend to encourage collaboration between Congress people as president?
Oh man, I wasn't sure where you're going with that. But I mean, I agree with you that I listen to numbers too. Congress is not working for a variety of reasons. So this might help free people up to do the right thing. I'm for term limits for members of Congress. Their job should be to go to DC, do our work, and then come home. It should not be to crouch there for as long as possible and be like, ooh, I like it here, like the rest of it. So I have the way we pass term limits my first day in office. You guys will love this. I go, hey guys, 12-year term limits for all members of Congress, but current lawmakers are exempt. Do you think they'll pass that the next day? Yeah, they would. They'd be like, we do this for the American people. Because they'd all be grandfathered in. They'd all be like, we're all like super legislators now. But eventually they'd lose and get phased out, and then you'd have a dynamic, responsive legislature that listens to us. And then if you didn't have to worry about committee assignments and like trying to climb the ladder forever and be there for 30 years, then you might actually vote your point of view, vote your conscience, and you're less like locked in to saying like, I have to be with my party on everything. So you can see more people going across the aisle. I've got all these ideas on this that we can make happen. Number two, I'm for restoration of earmarks. It's very hard to make deals with members of Congress if you can't offer them something that they can take home to their district. The way these deals used to work is like, okay, I'll go along with your plan, but I'm gonna bring some goodies back to Iowa. And then people are like, that's cool. And so everyone got goodies. And then they got rid of the goodies and said like, this will be anti-corruption, but now no one can get anything done. I think goodies for individual districts is a fine price to pay for a functional legislature. Number three, this is a bigger democracy issue. I'm for ranked choice voting. Because right now people feel like they're locked into a vote that is for a particular party, and oftentimes there's someone who comes around, let's call that person Andrew Yang for fun, where people are like, oh, I like this person, but then they're concerned about whether or not like that's going to work out in terms of the big voting calculus. So if you had ranked choice voting, then people would just vote for whoever they actually like, and then it would sort itself out. You'd have a much more dynamic democracy instead of this duopoly that's locking us up. Now, I'm a registered Democrat. I have been for years, decades, but we should face facts to the fact that registered independents outnumber Democrats and Republicans in this country by a significant margin. And so there are many, many Americans who do not feel like their point of view is being represented by either party, and our democracy should reflect that. And the best way to reflect that is if you have ranked choice voting and people are able to vote more freely and fluidly. So there are a number of things we have to do to try and empower our democracy to work again and make our legislature actually function. But those are some of the big reforms. Earmarks, term limits, ranked choice voting would be a very, very big step forward. This is fun, sir.
Trump and his supporters, of course, are going to run on the economy. We keep hearing how great the economy is, that African-American unemployment is lower than ever. I don't see it. Is the economy that good?
The economy is not that good for most Americans, truly. And so if you say the stock market has gone up, which it has, and you can talk about why, I mean, the reason it went up is because he passed a $1.5 trillion tax cut, the vast majority of which went right to shareholders of big companies. So would you expect stocks to go up? Sure. Now, the stock market went up, but did you know the bottom 80% of Americans own just 8% of stock market wealth, and the bottom 50% own essentially zero? So if you go around saying, hey, stock market's up, it's like you're pretty much saying, hey, the top 20% of the country did better, but 20% is not 100%. Now, if you look at the other numbers on the ground, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Almost half can't afford an unexpected $500 bill. You have record high levels of student loan debt, yes, but financial insecurity, stress, anxiety, and things that you'd like to see in your society, like starting a business for young people, multi-decade lows, getting married, record lows, having a kid, record lows. So there are many, many signs of weakness and pain in even this economy where the top line numbers look rosy. The real problem is that the top line numbers do not reflect the experience of the vast majority of Americans at this point. Like if I told you, hey, GDP went up, are you like, yeah, like you don't care. Particularly because soon, when AI comes and starts driving trucks, that's going to be great for GDP, but it's going to be terrible for many Americans. Even when Donald Trump was running for president, what did he say about a lot of these numbers? Fake news, headline unemployment is fake. And then he became president, and then all of a sudden he shut up about that and says they're real. He was actually right when he was running. The numbers are fake. The headline unemployment rate hides the fact that millions of Americans have left the workforce. The labor force participation rate, I'm getting wonky, I apologize, but the labor force participation rate in the US is down to 63%, same levels as El Salvador and Costa Rica, and close to a multi-decade low. If you drop out of the workforce, it actually improves the unemployment rate because you're not in the workforce anymore. How messed up is that? So like, the more people drop out, the better it looks. So if you dig past the first layer of the headline numbers, you find that the economy is not actually benefiting most Americans anymore. And that's not just me talking, that's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase talking, who came out and said we should declare a national emergency around the fact that the economy is not serving most Americans.
Last question.
Really? No, we got some time, that's cool. All right, Miss.
So you talked about the freedom dividend, and I was just wondering, like, how would you begin to implement it? Would you implement it beginning in Alaska? I'm familiar with that system. Or would you implement it in like a poor state like Mississippi?
So wait, you're from Alaska and you got that oil dividend, both of you? Wow, well, please, both speak on this. This will be fun. We have real life Alaskans. So yeah, tell us what your memories are, getting the checks.
Yeah, so I've gotten it my whole life. My parents put it into a college fund, which I'm really thankful for. Not that that covers college expenses nowadays, but basically every year we just sign up if we're eligible. You have to be 18 months old to begin with, and then you can pretty much get it if you're a college student as well, as long as you go back for 72 hours. What? So, which is fine because we spend our summers there, but yeah, it's just like been a part of our lives that we've always, and some years it's higher, some years it's lower, so.
So, but I didn't know that part about that, and she can just go back for 3 days and like get that daily ever. Also known as the visit your parents rule. What they experience in Alaska is what we have to make happen for everyone in the country. And just think about it, growing up and just having $1,000 to $2,000 get deposited in your account and just think like that's just perfectly normal. Imagine our country where we can turn to high school seniors and say, hey, you turn 18, you start getting $1,000 a month because your country loves you and it's going to invest in you.
It changes the economy incredibly. In October too, it's like everyone spends, and like the economy is just like thriving at that point.
Pretty much, I need to bring one or both of you like on the bus tour. Showing up the next event, speaking to the Alaskan experience. That's what I want to make happen nationwide. And the way we roll it out, I believe, is by putting money into people's hands and like having people see it's like, this is the best thing the government has ever done. It's my favorite thing ever. And then people would see that that money is going to go right back into the economy because in a country where 78% of us are living paycheck to paycheck, of course it's going to get spent. Like if you were snuck into Jeff Bezos' bank account and gave him an extra $1,000 a month, like what effect would that have on the economy? Literally zero. No one would even notice. You'd just be changing one digit in one account. But you put $1,000 in our hands, we'd be like, oh my gosh, like you said in Alaska in October when the freaking money comes in, like people actually do the things that make the economy go forward. So that's the goal, is just to get money into people's hands. And I want you to apply this vision. I just want, because this is magic. It's so much fun being here now. All right. What's the #1 criteria that people have for the Democratic nominee?
Beat Trump.
Beat Trump. That's right. Now, one poll had 10% of Trump voters in a swing state saying they would vote for me over Trump. Another survey said that 18% of college Republicans would choose me over Trump in the general. The internet says I am the heavy favorite to beat Trump in a head-to-head matchup. And when I say the internet, I mean people actually betting money, like I'm a heavy favorite. You know who else has realized that I'm his worst nightmare as a candidate? Trump. I am the only candidate in the field he has never tweeted about or mentioned. And you have to think, why is that? One, because a lot of his people like me, and two, I'm better at the internet than he is. And what are his most potent attack lines? You're a corrupt DC politician. Like, you're just part of like the old guard deep state trying to keep me down. That doesn't work on Andrew Yang at all. Just show up and be like, hey, I'm here to solve the problems. I won't even throw you in jail, Donald. Just like get out of our way, please. Let's start moving on. Start building the bridges that, like, I thought he'd at least build Trump Bridge because, Trump Bridge. So as Democrats realize that I'm the strongest candidate to take on Donald Trump, our numbers are going to keep rising because that's the number one criteria. It's like, well, we want to beat Trump. The best person to beat him, Andrew Yang. So after I become the nominee, I win the presidency, and everyone will know a year from now why I won. Because of the dividend. I'm going to turn around and be like, all right, guys, my flagship freaking promise is get people that money. And then Democrats and progressives will look up and say, well, we're thrilled to have beaten Donald Trump. We love putting money into the hands of families that are going to make people stronger, healthier, improve kids' graduation rates. But here's the kicker. What are the Republicans going to say? They're going to look up at this and be like, wait a minute, am I against the dividend? Alaska, that's had the dividend for almost 40 years, a deep red conservative state, and it was passed by a Republican governor. Republicans do not hate the dividend. It benefits rural areas, it benefits red states on the interior. And can you imagine that congressman standing there saying, like, this money's gonna hurt you? It's a really tough argument. So after I'm your president, I get in there, and then we pass this thing, the money comes into your hands, and then we have this unfamiliar feeling where the government did something you love, and then people are actually celebrating for once. And then now we can try and get other things done in a bipartisan manner in Capitol Hill, because Republicans sense that I'm not ideological, I just want to improve our way of life, and they can work with me. So this is the vision, but it's going to start right here in Iowa on February 3rd. Let's make it happen, let's make history. Thank you.
Give another round of applause for the next president of the United States, Andrew Yang! If you would like a picture with Andrew, we're going to ask you to line up on this side of the auditorium right here. If you're coming from that side, we'll ask you to come around that way and out the door, and then come from the back, if you know what I'm saying. In the meantime, just for a few minutes, Andrew is going to do some press. Thank you so much for coming today.
Alright guys, so this is what we need right now. Andrew Yang has set a $1 million donation goal by the end of the day tomorrow night. And the only way that happens is if all of you guys donate right now. They are trying to launch a crazy ad in Iowa, and they need $1 million by the end of the night tomorrow to do it. Now, here's what we're doing for you. Every single donation through the yanggame.com donation link goes directly to the campaign. And the highest bidder... Yeah, for sure. The highest donation during this stream gets a shout out from Andrew Yang at the end of the stream. And all you gotta do is donate through the yanggame.com. The current leader is Marshall at $125. Thank you, Andres, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Penny, for the $3.46 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Marshall, who has donated $125 during this stream to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link and is our donation shout-out leader. Thank you, Jen, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Jennifer, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Ty, for the $20.20 donation to Andrew Yang to put him into the White House in 2020. Thank you, Jameson, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Nate, for the $1 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Rudy, for the $25 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Janice, for the $50 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Carol, for the $100 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Justin, for the $50 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, another Jason, for the $100 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Corbin, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Steven, for the $25 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Shauna, for the $5 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Tony, for the $25 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. All of these donations are through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Pow for the $10 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Tony. Another different Tony for a $40 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Adriana, for a $15 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Wah, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Tony, again for the $5 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Zachary, for the $1 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, William, for the $5 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Evelyn, I hope I said that right, for the $20.20 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Alexander, for the $10 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Ken, for the $25 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Jim, for the $100 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Raymond, for the $20.20 donation. Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Dennis, for the $50 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Tom, for the $50 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Jay, for the $1 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Samuel, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Rolf, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Cole, for the $1 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Andy, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Breaking news, we have a new donation leader. Sorry, Marshall, but Jose has just donated $200 to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Jose is the leader for the shout out at the end of the selfie line. Also, thank you, David, for the $5 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Tom, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. I do not think this is a real name, but when you donate, you should probably put in your real name, unless your real name is really AAAA. For the $5 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Stephen, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Thank you, Avita, for the $5 donation to Andrew Yang through the yangame.com donation link. Okay, we're all caught up. So, our current donation leader is Jose at $200. And whoever has the highest donation is going to get a shout out from Andrew Yang. Now, in the meantime, some news. As of this stream, we are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Hold up. We may have a new donation leader. I gotta check this. Nope. The donation leader is still Jose at $200. Alright, so quick bookkeeping. We are now live on Facebook. So if you guys would like to share this video with all of your Facebook friends, you can go to the Zach and Matt Show Facebook page. And we are going to be live streaming every single event on Facebook. And it will be super easy to yang all your friends when you share this video of a live stream with Andrew Yang on Facebook. So just go to the Zach and Matt Show Facebook and share the stream. We're also live on Twitter, Periscope. So if you would like to share this with your Twitter friends without having to send them over to YouTube, simply go to Periscope, Zach and Matt Show. And here, if you go to yang2020.com and you scroll down and you go to continue to cite. There is a new donation goal. Hit $1 million in 48 hours to get our ad on the air. And they have currently raised $93,000.698. And every single donation through the yangame.com donation link contributes directly to this link. And again, whoever has the highest donation by the end of the stream is going to get a shout out on camera from Andrew Yang. Thank you, Avita for the $5 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Sam, for the $125 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Justin, for the $1.21 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, John, I love your last name, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Michael, for the $50 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. Thank you, Lee, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Raphael, for the $25 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Kendrell, for the $2 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Lonnie, for the $25 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Andres, for the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. Thank you, Debbie A. I don't think I said that right. I apologize. For the $10 donation to Andrew Yang. In breaking news, we have a second donation leader. Janet has matched Jose at $200. Thank you, Janet, for the $200 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. So currently we have 2 shout-out leaders to get the donation. It turns out Janet actually on January 13th donated $1,000 to Andrew Yang. So Janet has now donated over $1,200. But unfortunately, this is just the stream for today. And hold up. We may have breaking news. On the Yang Game. We have a new donation leader. Marshall has just upped his bid by $100. Marshall is the new donation shout-out leader at $225. I apologize to Janet, even though you previously donated $1,000 on January 13th and $200 today, the way the game works is, and to, who else was it, Jose, the way the game works is the highest donor gets the shout-out. Now, of course, if we have 2 people who donate a huge amount of money, we will make sure all of them get shout-outs. But we're talking a huge amount of money because Andrew's time is very valuable. Hold up. Let me go back here. I lost track of where I was. Thank you, Michael, for the $50 donation. Andrew Yang. Thank you, Lee, for the $10 donation. Raphael for $25 donation. Kendrell, $2 donation. Lonnie, $25. Thank you. Andres with the $10 donation. Oh, I think I've caught up. Benjamin with the $5 donation, Andrew Yang. Jen with the $25 donation, Andrew Yang. Sean with the $5 donation, Andrew Yang. James with the $20 donation, Andrew Yang. Esther with the $20.20 donation, Andrew Yang. And finally, Jay with the $20 donation to Andrew Yang through the yanggame.com donation link. So our current donation leader is Marshall at $225. In the meantime, we're going to go try to interview some folks. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
What really turned you over?
So much for coming, guys. Thank you. There you are. Thank you. Here.
Question for you,
Thank you so
sir.
much, sir.
Would you be interested in answering a few questions about what you thought of the event?
I'm not your best candidate for that, all right?
Not your best candidate?
Yep.
Well, I love hearing all the opinions, but I understand, sir. You want to answer some questions?
Sure, why not?
All right, awesome. Let me go somewhere we're out of the way, like right here. Yeah, let's
no light behind me.
get this as the background.
Excuse me.
Oops, I apologize.
Right here.
Yeah, this is good.
That for me, sir?
So,
Blanks and pens.
how did you first hear about Andrew?
Was it the 4th debate when he had the announced he was going to give away $1,000 to a few people around the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
3rd or 4th, something like that. I heard of him that way. I've known about UBI for I don't know, a decade or so, but never heard any politician talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of looked over his policies. Between that and ranked choice voting, I was sold.
You're sold? So you'd say he's your number one choice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And is this the first time you've heard him speak before in person?
Yes. Yeah.
And what is the energy like listening to him speak in person versus watching on TV or online?
It's more intense. I drove down here 2.5 hours from Minneapolis
Wow.
to see it. So
Awesome.
brought my dad and my son.
If you'd like to take a button or a sticker,
Just
please, by
for
all
the
means.
experience. Never had any interest in a politician before.
Wow.
Andrew.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with me. I appreciate your time. What's your name?
Oh,
Greg.
yeah.
Greg.
Yeah.
My name's Matt.
All right.
You guys have a safe travel back home.
Thanks a bunch.
And then let's steal some bumper stickers and pass them out to folks.
All right. Sounds good.
Actually, let's steal a few more because they're all the way out. Use them and bring them back. Excuse me, would any of you like a bumper sticker?
Yes.
Awesome. You want a blue one as well?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
White and blue. Thank you. Have a good night or evening. Yep. Yep. White or blue? Blue. That one's white. White. You want a blue one as well? Awesome. Would you like a bumper sticker, sir?
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Matt?
Yep. Oops.
We've met before, but I'm sure you've met a lot of people.
Yeah,
since,
sorry about that. You actually do look familiar.
So we met in Iowa City when you had that rally over there.
Was that last month?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be a while ago. Yeah,
But,
last month.
Yeah, so I drove 3 hours just to get here. Because I live. This is where this is a town that I've grown up in.
Bumper sticker? White or blue, or both?
I'll go with blue. Thank you.
Blue. Hey, no problem.
You're not streaming now, are you?
Yeah, dude, you're live.
Hey.
Dude, give the Yang Gang, like pump up the Yang Gang right now. Like, tell us why everyone should be so excited to donate phone bank, canvas, text bank.
All right, so
And then I'm gonna go pass out bumper stickers.
I got to. I got to stay here and talk.
No, I gotta pass out these. I'm gonna get rid of them all. You got this, bro. You got
all right,
this.
here I go. Hey everyone. So I got to Canvas in Grinnell. I think that was a couple weeks ago, and the volunteers that came from California, Seattle, Texas, Kansas, and all over. And so what's crazy is a lot of these supporters have different political backgrounds, from conservatives to libertarians to progressives. And so we have all these people from different backgrounds uniting under one candidate, and I've never seen anything like this. So it's very important that you guys volunteer your time, give money to the campaign so they can keep advertising and just be a lot more resourceful. And guys, we can take Iowa. I talked with one of my conservative friends today, and he really likes Andrew, which is awesome. And he generally does not vote Democrats or even care about them. So yeah, my name is Jeremiah. This is so awkward because no one else is here with me. It's just me. Yeah, I hope everyone out there is doing well. And I'm going to work super hard on caucus night, February 3rd. I'm starting to write out reasons why people should join Andrew Yang if their candidate isn't viable. So it's gonna be a wild night, and you guys are gonna be so excited for what's about to happen. Yeah, I went to college here, and I drove 3 hours to get here. So Andrew's the real deal. And here's Matt. And
good?
are you staying? Okay.
You.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I drove 3 hours just to get here, and I'm going back home tonight. This is where I went to school. I went to college. All right.
Is
thank
it good?
you. Yeah, I hope
What's your
so.
name again?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you,
man.
But
Hope you have
stay safe.
Safe travels back home.
Thank you.
Yang gang.
Yeah, good.
Okay, let's check our donations. Thank you, Hein, for the $5 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Gordon, for the $21 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Kenny, for the $5 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Austin, for the $10 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Angelo, for the $10 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Chung, for the $10 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Alan, for the $25 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Vamir, for the $50 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Harry, for the $25 donation, Andrew Yang. Thank you, Shuhong, for the $5 donation, Andrew Yang.
Oh yeah, I'll show you where. Let's go down these stairs.
Thank you, Hein, for the $5 donation. Ooh, press pull. Got it.
Well, I've talked to many workers who felt very badly misled by the president because of the trade war and the tariffs. And it's not the sort of situation where a check makes the whole, because many of them invested months trying to build these trade relationships that got thrown away. So I think if we stay the farmers here in Iowa, we need to solve real problems and make our lives. I mean,
this is your second time here at Waldorf University. Why do you not
I think we need to do much better for our young people. That if you're in university today, you sense that things aren't being set up for you to succeed. You're graduating with record high levels of debt. The job prospects are more uncertain than ever. You have these big challenges like climate change and the fact that technology is transforming our economy in unprecedented ways. So I love speaking to young people in particular because we owe them better than we're leaving them. But we need their help. We need young people to say that we can build a society economy that works for them, for you. I'm a parent myself. I have no desire to leave a mess for my kids, and we need to clean it up.
You mentioned your kids in the health dance right now, and all kids out coming up. What do you plan to do in the next couple of weeks? Can you talk about that you are the best
I need to make my case directly to Iowa and say, look, what got Donald Trump elected were the economic challenges that people here in Iowa see around him every day. And I am the lone candidate who started a nonprofit that created thousands of jobs in the Midwest and the South. I understand the economic challenges to a much higher level than the other candidates in the field. And this is how we're going to defeat Donald Trump and move our country forward.
You mentioned the dark horse internet people. The Republican side will also swing for you. What do you think are the ideal candidates for the political party side?
I'm laser focused on the problems that got Donald Trump elected in the first place, including the fact that we blasted away 40,000 manufacturing jobs right here in Iowa. And we need to own up to the fact that we're not stopping there, that we're now getting rid of hundreds of thousands of retail jobs, call center jobs, fast food jobs, and on and on through the economy. And these problems don't have a political party. These are just economics and technology converging in unprecedented ways. So I'm the ideal candidate to help move the country forward because I understand what's happening on the ground, what Iowans see around you every day. And that's the kind of both identification of the problems and solutions that Americans have been waiting for, very hungry for.
And someone touched on it when they asked the question. Congress is very divided right now. You have one big promise, $1,000. Do you think that you can get that done even with Congress as divided as it is?
Very much so, because cash in Americans' hands is traditionally bipartisan. Many of the people that have championed it have been from both sides of the aisle, from Thomas Paine to Martin Luther King to Milton Friedman. And now thinkers like Elon Musk and others see that we have to make this happen because technology is transforming our way of life. So we can get this past Congress in large part because I'll have a mandate. I'll have won the White House on a swell of popular support where everyone will say the best thing our government can do is put economic buying power into our hands and solve our problems.
Two more questions. Was the young lady from Alaska, Jessica, quite an asset to the Freedom Dividend?
Yeah, she really was. I wasn't joking when I said we should bring Jessica with us everywhere, because her direct experience as someone who grew up in Alaska and was getting $1,000 to $2,000 a year that's put into a college savings account, that even now when she's a student in Iowa, she still gets that money. I mean, imagine just growing up like that and just assuming that's what happens with everyone. That's what we can do for every American around the country. So I was thrilled Jessica was here to speak to her experience as an Alaskan receiving the petroleum dividends. And I wish there was a Jessica at every stop here in Iowa in particular.
For City Summit, I was wondering if you're running for president and focusing on Iowa at this time, what is your main focus for Iowa? What are your goals?
We have to solve the problems that led Donald Trump to win Iowa by almost 10 points. And what I want for Iowa is a way forward for our people and our families, so that everyone here in the state feels like our future is secure and that we have a path forward even as the economy changes around us. Iowans saw what happened on your farms, in your factories, now it's on your main streets, soon it will be on your highways. We have to turn it around and make the economy work for us rather than have everyone here in Iowa working for the economy.
Thank you guys, appreciate y'all.
Is it possible for us to take a picture with you? Of course.
Thank you again. Let me know if you
If they don't put it in the paper,
Are you with
Thank you.
Time to get the shout out.
My program, and I was,
Janet upped her bid to $50 to $250. By the way, would you like a bumper sticker?
Yes, please. Thank you.
White or blue? We're both.
Oh, thank you so much.
Grab one each.
Would you like a bumper sticker as well, Theo?
Will you take a picture of me then?
You want both colors? Or is it possible for me to get both?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out. Could I get a shout out for Janet for the $250 donation?
Sure thing. Hey Janet, thank you so much for your donation. $250 is big for us because we have to go all the way February 3rd and then 11th and then just keep on going. We're trying to raise $1 million in the next 48 hours, and your donation helped a lot. So thank you.
$1 million.
Thanks, Andrew.
We need your help. Let's go.
He's right in the car. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay, not only does Andrew have to go, but we have to go. Oh, would you like a bumper sticker?
No, thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, I will talk to you later. But I got involved with it. So.
Either of you like a bumper sticker?
Sure.
White or blue or both? Actually, I think I only have one white left, but snatch it now before it's gone.
The rare one, I'm thinking.
You can have another blue if you'd like to. All right, you guys are good. Thanks for coming out. Have a good rest of your day.
No worries, sir. Thank
As
you.
promised. Take care.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Sorry. Oh wait, I have to get my stuff.
If someone hasn't already taken it, then yeah.
My yard. Yeah, you better hurry.
Oh shit.
All right, stream. We gotta roll. The next event is at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So the stream's gonna end. And what's your name?
Amanda.
Give a big Yang Gang thank you to Amanda for volunteering here in Forest City.
Thank you, everybody.
Yang Gang.
We appreciate Yang Gang watching. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
All right, stream. 3:30. We'll see you there. Thank you.
See you, Matt.
See you.